Welp, unfortunately, I was just made aware of the news that my only Shinies account is most likely Shiny locked, and I've probably been wasting all of my time even trying to hunt on it, and this challenge has to be massively rehauled. Let's go ahead and get into why that's the case. So, thankfully, another YouTuber and player in Pokemon named Epoch, shout out to him, his channel should be linked in the description. He reached out to Rach and said, hey, me and some other guys have been doing a shiny only challenge, and none of us have gotten a shiny. It's been around 70,000 encounters or so in total. It's kind of odd that none of us have gotten one, and that happens. I didn't really think much of it, but I really appreciate Epoch reaching out because Rach responded and said, hey, I wanted to clarify a few things about the answer I gave you earlier. It wasn't very clear. Here's clear information regarding possible shiny locks. You're likely to become shiny locked if you play for an excessive amount of time without making story progress. Making enough story progress will remove the lock. If you've completed a single region storyline, you won't be subject to restrictions in other regions. This is why you'd want to do one storyline before attempting this sort of challenge run. The base rate of shinies is either 1 out of 30,000 or 0. It doesn't scale with playtime or time spent hunting. This should never affect anyone playing the game normally. Some pretty bombshell news. Now this is something that would only affect people doing hyper niche challenge runs like myself and Epoch and anyone else doing it. But if you're a regular player, don't live in fear, I guess. Don't think you're shiny locked, but at the same time, I don't know, man. If you're like 3 or 4 gym badges in and you wanted to go for a shiny, it's possible you're shiny locked. It's unlikely. I mean, I have a challenge run on a different account where I sped run to a shiny Pokemon from scratch in around 3 hours or so, I believe, and that was at like 2 or 3 gym badges, but this is pretty shocking news to me. Now, the reason why, if it isn't obvious, the reason why is to combat bots. The PokeMMO dev team is really small, and they kind of have to do a lot of harsh things like this to be able to combat bots. Bots are a pretty big problem in any free-to-play MMO, but because of these harsh restrictions, the PokeMMO devs aggressively limit bots even being possible or being encouraged in the game at all. So I think it's kind of worth it, honestly, to help them combat bots. Bots can be a pretty big game ender for most MMOs, but other than that, yeah, this is just news to me. This is something that I'm going to have to work around. I'm probably going to have to go ahead and I'm probably going to complete the Kanto region, I guess, on my Only Shinies account. If you don't know, I've been sitting here hunting for it's actually Only Shinies 2 because my other one I lost the footage for. I had to go ahead and create a second account. So I've actually probably spent around 60 hours or so doing this, which honestly isn't bad at all. It could have been so much worse. I'm actually really fortunate that Epoch found this so soon. I could have been hunting for hundreds of hours and maybe even thousands and never known about this. So this saved me a lot of time. Honestly, it could have been a ton worse. But yeah, that's pretty much it. This shouldn't matter for most people, but it matters for this series and it matters for anybody else doing a challenge run. Just something to be aware of. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like this video if you enjoyed it and it was helpful. Subscribe. I'll see you guys later. Hopefully see you soon with this challenge run revamped.